on Changing the Narrative are so pumped you are here. If you don't mind, put on your camera. If you cannot, I totally understand that as well. Welcome to the May meeting. This is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more amazing. And Trey had this vision, and we're working towards it in 2022 of having events, having live events, and being able to see each other and hug each other and support each other. And I also know that a lot of you are building friendships outside of this, which is amazing. That is the whole point that we do this. Lindsay is our mindset coach. She falls in our kind of mental health realm. And so at the very end of this, she's going to give you some tips on mindset and mental health, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if this is your first time joining us, happens to be, I think most of you have been on here, but if somebody hears this recording and they have not heard this before, we exist. This is by athletes for athletes. And our guy, Dr. Josh, said it well. It's by athletes for athletes, but it's athletes wanting to tell people I'm so much more than an athlete, right? And that's what Kit's going to be speaking on tonight, is identity. And we just said, hey, we exist to fill in the gap for people. We exist so people don't feel lonely, so people don't feel isolated, so people have resources to be able to build their business, to have health tips like Trey's going to bring you, to have finance tips like Jeremy Newsom can't be on live. He's on a plane, but he sent us a video. We've got business tips as well, and mental health and community. And that's why we're doing this. And we got mentors like Matt that are on here. And so that's why we exist. Okay. And I just wanted to throw that out there. Trey is my partner in all of this. He is our lead PALS coordinator. Trey, do you want to say anything before we give it over? I know we're going to go back to you a little bit later on for your help tip, but is there anything that you want to share before we hand it over to Miss Kit?
Yes, I do. Rach, you know I was going to add something. Y'all, so when we started PALS, it was just a conversation we're having with Rachel. She's like, Trey, what do you want to do, man? You guys are connecting. We're leading. I'm changing everything. So we came up with PALS, and it's literally just like a group of really awesome people who really want to go forward with life. We all have crazy connections. We have crazy networks, but the biggest thing is we got big hearts. So keep connected is crazy, like business, personal, mental health, whatever you're looking for. My business has grown just being a part of PALS. And the connections I've made, like different people that are PALS, different people who've heard about PALS and me speaking. So I've had like clients come in and different things, check out my program. So if you guys are looking to connect, this is the place. So Rachel, I had to just add it in, but
of course,
I'm excited to hear the speech today. I'm ready.
Yeah. And look, Trey'sTheBomb.com. I'll share more on that later, and then I've got a business tip for us later. He's going to give us some health tips, as I mentioned, but I'm going to shut up now because my girl Kit, she's a graduate now, and she's already gotten hired, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to let her tell your good news. A swimmer from LSU. She is amazing. And what I want to I want to impress to everybody as I introduce her is you have a voice and you can get stuff done. And if you shake the tree hard enough, if you don't shut up, I call it being #respectfully relentless, where you don't have to annoy somebody, but you're respectful in it, but you're relentless. And Kit was so relentless. She went and told the people that needed to know it at LSU, we want her back. We want her back. We want her back. And so this past February, I think it was like my third or fourth time on campus. And it was largely in part to Kit and to the people that serve with her. And so, and it was, and I happen to be the first speaker back on campus since COVID, live and in person. And so that is what you can do, kings, queens, whatever it is you're talking about, job and faith and work in your family and changing the world. Y'all, I just put a tweet out there about this horrific stuff that happened with these police officers and Ronald Green. And I know it's going to shake some feathers, and I don't care, because guess what? I'd rather stand for something than fall for anything. And I recognize that. And so I just want to say, in the spirit of Kit Hanley, use your voice. You can use it for good to change the narrative. And so, Kit, take it away, my dear.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Rachel. It's so good to see all of you guys tonight. Thank you so much for putting this together, as you always do. It's such a great community, and I've made so many great like friendships already through this. But I do want to say one thing about Rachel coming back to campus. She is the only one. I talked to all the athletes after, and they were like, wait, she really resonated. Like, she really resonated with us. We love her. Like, we want her to come again and again, because you were the only one who really like got the message through to them, and they really, really loved you. It was great. So thank you so much again for being here and doing that. But like Rachel said, I'm Kit Hanley. I recently graduated from LSU. I swam for 4 years, and I was a broadcast journalism major, and I'm originally from Indiana, but I'm going back to Indiana, Terre Haute. Some people say Paradise. I don't really know if that's true, but I'm working for WTHI News 10 as a producer and a multimedia journalist. So I'm headed back next month. I'm super excited. And my mom is on the call right now. So, hey, Mom. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. And I have a few topics that I want to touch on tonight that have been like, I've really wanted to talk about for a while, but I just haven't had the platform. So I'm really thankful for Rachel and Trey and for everyone putting this together. But what I really want to talk about is like the layers and the levels of performance anxiety and how to cope with it, what it is, and everything like that. Hey, Mom, she's saying something in the chat. And then I really want to talk about separating your identity from your sport, and then also just identifying your role. Like, what do you bring to the table on a daily basis? Who are you when you show up to where you're going, whether it be at work, in your family, on your team, no matter what it is, like, who are you and what do you bring to the table? So the first one I really want to talk about is performance anxiety. It's something I've struggled with for such a long time, and I didn't even know that I was struggling with it. So I want to tell you a little bit about my athletic background. So I'm a swimmer, and I've swam since I was 4 years old, but I've competitively swam since I was about 8. And I ran cross country and track until junior year, until I really wanted to focus on swimming, because that's what I knew I wanted to do in college. So take it back to 4th grade. I'm at a cross country meet, and I'm 6 foot. I'm bigger than all the other girls. I always have been. And so the parents would always be like, she's cheating. She got held back. She's not actually in this grade. They'd always say like this stuff to me. So I'd be like, okay, well, now I'm going to win. I'm going to beat your daughter. Like, it would always be like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I have to win because they already think I'm cheating. So that's really where like my winning spirit like came. I always had this like burning desire to just win. Like, that's just who I was growing up. That's what it was. Like, sports were always fun, but I always was having more fun if I was winning. And I feel like some people can relate to that. But so yeah, that's where it really started, was 4th grade. But I didn't realize that I had my performance anxiety until literally sophomore year of college. Like, I was dealing with it for 12 plus years, and I didn't even know, because throughout my athletic career, I had wanted to win. So I was always like, I guess I was like the best, like that's what I wanted to be. That's who I was. I'd always put the most work in, do all that. But then college recruiting came around, and I was talking to Coach Dave. He's the coach here at LSU. And my times were not up to par with like SEC standard. They were like in the middle, like coming in, I was probably like mid on the team. And so that was a different feel for me. But I told Coach Dave, I said, I want to be an LSU Tiger. This is what I want to do. And so he was like, this will be a different change of pace for you, a different scene for you. So I was like, I'm willing to climb. I'm willing to go whatever I need to do. I want to really be an LSU Tiger and climb and see where I can go. And so I thought it was going to work out in my favor. Got here. We were doing it. I wasn't performing the way I wanted to my freshman year. And I was just so distraught, because that hadn't happened in, like, I've had ruts, but it was a whole year rut. And I was comparing myself to my teammates. They were performing. Why wasn't I? Like, why was I not up to par to where I should have been? It was a new coach, new program, new everything. I was lifting Olympic lifting. I was doing everything. So when I wasn't performing, I started to like party, and I would do all these other things because like it wasn't there in the water. So I was like, okay, I'll focus on my social life and I'll focus on like my academics. And so I did that. But then towards the end of the season, I met with my coach and I was like, what happened? And then I met with some older girls and I said, why did this happen? And they were like, you know, Kit, like freshman year is either a hit or miss. So it was a miss for me. And they said, you know, we met with our sports psychologist. And I was like, it's not really my thing. And they're like, no, like you can talk to the sports psych about anything. It doesn't have to be about athletics. It doesn't have to be deep. Like just go in, feel it out. So I did. And I was talking to him and he was like, what's up? And I was like, I'm having all these like negative thoughts behind the block. Like I literally cannot get past these negative thoughts and these comparisons like to my other teammates who are succeeding. And I can't perform in the water. Like, what is this mental block? And so he was like, oh, it sounds like you're dealing with like a little bit of performance anxiety. And I told him, and I was like, anxiety? Like I got defensive. I was like, I don't have anxiety. And he was like, no, Kit, like it's not a bad thing. It just means you care. Caring is a good thing. You're just, you're going past that level of it, like nervous excitement into that level of like, here's the pressure. If you don't perform, what are you doing? Like, it was like the next level. So he taught me ways to cope with it, to really deal with it. And I was dealing with that for 12 years. And I didn't want to admit that I was dealing with it because that was like a weakness, you know? And as an athlete, you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to have the competition have an upper hand on you. Like, you just don't want to admit it. And so once I started to actually deal with it and learn tips and learn from him on how to do that, I started to be able to perform again. So that was really nice. But so I was performing, I was doing all that. It was great. You know, when you're an athlete, you're a human and you can feel all these things. You got to feel them and let them pass and learn from them. And so that brings me into my next point, where it's like, you know, identifying your role. So I was performing for like a year and a half. Then we get to junior year, spring semester, COVID hits. COVID hits. It is just like, I was on a roll, and then it was like, all right, here we go. So you're not practicing at all. Like, all the athletes know that you're not practicing at all. What are you doing? So much time to think. And so it was my junior year. So I was going into my senior semester and I hadn't reached my goals, and I hadn't yet reached my goals. I had one more season to do that, or else I was like a failure in my mind. And so I told Dr. Bugs that, and he was like, well, why aren't you having fun anymore? And I'm not having fun because I'm not swimming fast. And that's always been fun for me. And he was like, and I told him I hadn't been reaching my goals. And so he said, when did it stop being fun for you? And I kind of told him, I said, you know, when it stopped being fun was literally when I started swimming at LSU, and it was nothing against LSU, nothing. I love LSU. I love LSU swimming, everything. It was all in my mind because it started to become evident to me that, you know, college athletics, it's like a business transaction. The way you perform perceives how good of a coach, like how good of a coach your coach is. It like literally is like how they move forward, you know? So if you're not performing, then it looks bad on your coach. And then you're like, holy crap, like they could get fired because I'm not performing. So then it's more pressure. And it just builds up. It just builds up. And so I told him, I said, you know, when I came here, my coach took a chance on me. When I came here, my parents took a chance on me. I was on 40% scholarship out of state, literally paying so much money to come here. And if I wasn't doing my job in the pool, then I was a failure for my parents, for my coach, for me. Like, I would get so emotional about it. And like, I am right now. And my mom's probably like, oh my gosh, Kit. But like, that's literally what it was for me. And so I had to start identifying my role outside of my sport. Because if I only identified myself with how fast I was swimming, and this applies to football, basketball, how many points you're scoring, what kind of plays you make on the field, how many people are you tackling, like how fast you're running on the track, all these things. If you start comparing your self-worth to what you're doing on the field, on the court, on the track, you will never live up to your expectations. That ends, and we know it ends. And so I had to really identify my role during COVID. Since I wasn't swimming, I said, who am I? You know, like, what am I doing? And so I started to think like, you know, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, What do I bring to the pool every day? I'm that positive energy. I'm the comedic relief, the shoulder to cry on. And so when I started doing that and figuring out who I was to the team rather than my times, I started to get faster in the pool because I was happy again, because I knew that it wasn't only my times that I was bringing to the table, that my teammates could count on me in other ways. And I felt valuable again, like to the team. So that's when COVID was actually really nice. Like it was horrible, but mental health wise, it was incredible for me because I really could identify who I was. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't do that, if I didn't know my role or separate my identity from my sport, I don't know how the transition from swimming to the real world would have been. I think right now I would have been so lost. Without swimming, who was I? If I'm not an athlete, who am I? But I stopped when I was introducing myself all throughout college. I'd be like, hi, I'm Kit Hanley. I'm a swimmer. Stop doing that. That's not only who you are. You are so much more than your sport, so much more than your career. Whatever you do, whoever you are so much more. And so you got to know that when your sport comes to an end, that the next journey is right there. The next chapter of your life's right there. And you can bring that competitive energy. Whatever you bring to your sport, you'll bring it to your life. Yeah. Just because that ends doesn't mean you end. There's so much more to you. So that's just always been something that I wanted to talk about because, that was so hard for me. Like I went to my coach, Dave, I was crying, sobbing my senior year because I was like, I never reached my goals here. And he said, Kit, yes, you did. You reached them in my eyes because every chapter of your life is a different version of you, and you've shown that. And he said, if you weren't growing as a young woman into who you are today, I would have been not disappointed, but I would have said, yeah, maybe you didn't reach your goals, but you did. And it was never about swimming. And so that's what I wanted to express to you guys tonight. That's a little bit of my story. And I want to open it up for a discussion. If you guys have any questions for me or anything like that, I kind of want to open it up and say, what's your why? What's your purpose? Now that you've kind of had some time to think about it, do you know what your purpose is outside of your sport? Do you want to kind of talk about that and talk it through? So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I encourage anybody who wants to either put it in the chat or talk out loud to Kit. I want to be mindful of everybody having a moment to say that and then keeping us on track. So I always try to be respectful of your time too, so we don't go too much over. But Kit, I want to say what struck me the most to start is all of this realization happened when you went to the therapist. You went to talk to somebody. Yes. And look at that. Like what happened in her life when she went to a Lindsay, when she went to a Dr. Josh, when she went to somebody outside of herself that could reframe it. People think, I was on a call last night with people, English is a second language. It's so awesome. And they were saying it's a lot of Hispanic people and I'm Hispanic. And they were saying, in our culture, people only go to see therapists if you're crazy. And I'm like, that's why we do the work we do, to destroy that stigma. Going to a therapist helps you make sense of who you are and why you do it. So I just want to say props for you going to get help to help you realize all those things, Kit.
Thank you. And thank you to my teammates who recommended me. Like I literally never thought I needed therapy because I thought that would mean something was wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Everyone needs to talk. Everyone needs to talk to someone, Yeah. So, yeah.
Anybody else want to share with her what that meant?
Kit, I'd love to share real quick. So as a former athlete myself, hi, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Britt Gusmus. So when I performed well, that's when I was loved. So that's the kind of the message I got when I was a kid was when I performed well, you were loved. But when I didn't perform well, I wasn't loved. And so that really took on shame to many degrees and those type of things. So my question for you is, when you were in those spaces where performance led the way, when you did the work that you did, were there layers that you uncovered that you were able to then get free of, not just performance as an athlete, but where else did that freedom come from? Where else did that freedom take you, I should say? Freedom emotionally, mentally, spiritually, those type of things. Does that question make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that the freedom for me, like growing up, I was never really like an emotional kind of person like that. But when I started seeing Dr. Bugs and when I started talking through things, I realized that there were more layers to me than I ever like knew. And I actually had more, like, I wouldn't say trauma, but more things that had bothered me for a long time that were seeping inside of me that I didn't even realize were making me emotional, that were making me like, really upset inside. So when I started seeing him, I started realizing that there are some things in your life that you never knew affected you long term, but they do. And so that he freed me in so many ways that I really started to develop my voice, and I started to really invest in my broadcast career and what I was doing after my sport, because that's my passion. Like swimming was always my passion too, but like I knew that was going to come to an end. I knew I wasn't an Olympic potential, but he really helped me kind of uncover my passion as well. So that was really freeing, and it's in that way too. And does that kind of make sense, or did I get at that? Okay.
It makes total sense because relating to you, because that, like I said, performance was all that I was about. And so that really became more of a prison for me because it was such a letdown when I didn't perform well. And so that created shame in my life. And that was a product of stuff underneath there as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. But I kind of have a question for you guys. Like, when did you guys cross the line from your sport being fun to it being kind of like a chore? Not really a chore, but it being more pressure filled than it was fun in your eyes. Like, if you weren't performing, it was just, man, F this. Like, you know what I mean? Do you guys have any instances? Alex?
When I got to college, as soon as I got to college, it all went downhill. My freshman year was a huge miss. Also, I completely resonate with your story that way. It was a lot of fun. It took so much to get there. I'm from Canada, so going to school in the US for sport was like crazy huge deal from where I'm from, and it was really exciting. So when I made it there, I made it D1. I was in South Carolina, and I just could not perform. I was stressed all the time. I was just such a mess. And I ended up transferring schools because I thought this is not how this was supposed to be. Even like my dad, who's the one that put me through all of this and worked with me to get to where I was, he goes, this isn't worth it if you're not enjoying yourself. Like, it's written all over your face. We can see it. So it took a while. And then finally, by the end of it, I was able to find joy in it again. But yeah, as soon as I got to college, it was like there was this crazy stress of like having to perform all the time. And if you didn't, you were just a failure, both in my head. Maybe I was even creating scenarios outside of what I was feeling. So it sucks, because after growing up with the sport you love and getting to where you are, and all of a sudden the fun disappears, how's that work? That's not fair at all. So I completely feel you on that.
Definitely. Because a lot of people's end goal is, being a D1 athlete. And then when you're there and it's not fun anymore, you're like, why did I work my whole life to do this?
Exactly. I thought, great. So we made it, and this is what has happened. Now what do I do? Yeah. So
go ahead, Matt.
It didn't hit me until after I got out of sports. 22 years. Let me back up a second. Most athletes, because we're all performance-driven individuals, go into sales at some point. And I think Trey would agree with me. A lot of the guys we played with sold cars, sold real estate, whatever. I've been in sales for 22 years because it's a performance-driven job. You set a goal, you achieve a goal, you get paid for the goal. Okay. It didn't hit me until probably 4 or 5 years ago, that I was putting so much stock into my performance that it was poisoning me from the inside out. It ruined relationships. It ruined friendships. It ruined job opportunities, all these things, because I didn't figure it out when I was 22 years old. I figured it out when I turned 38 years old. And that's the thing. What you did, Kit, was so impactful to recognize it at 19, 20 years old. it's just not talked about enough, and that's why I'm partnered with Rachel. That's why I work with Trey, because I want to help younger athletes and younger students. I've got kids of my own. We talk about, hey, this game's got a shelf life. It could be over in high school. It could be over in college. If you're blessed enough, it could be over in professional ranks. Everybody's got a shelf life, and that counts for your professional life too. So you've got to find a healthy balance of performance and then still be able to have that, regular person. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not the salesman, you're not the athlete. I'm just Matt today.
And Kit said that. Kit said, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, and Matt, you make a great point. And Braden said this too. A lot of athletes feel like they have to keep the stigma of being tough and not showing weakness, especially younger athletes. Y'all, that's why we exist. That's why I'm changing the narrative exist. We exist in part to destroy the stigma, to break the stigma, to change the narrative of mental health. You have never been so strong as when you say, is the day you walked and darkened the doorway of Dr. Bug's office, Kit, you have never been stronger, or your mom may say another day that I know of, than that day that you went in there and said, I need some help. I'm struggling here. And so that goes for anybody. But y'all, that's why we exist. I mean, that's why we're all on this call. That's why all of us do this work, volunteer. That's why you put this on your calendar tonight. Yeah, I get fired up about that. I mean, I want to impress for males, females, kings, queens, whatever. She exhibited such strength that day that she went and got vulnerable with somebody and took off her mask.
Hey, and one more thing, Rachel, guys, don't be afraid to reach back into your program. Send that hand back to the underclassmen, because I remember what it was like as a freshman when I walked in, and I know a lot of you do too, the way that the upperclassmen reacted to you in the locker room. It's a little different with football than swimming, but it's still, there's a dynamic there, that there's a pecking order. Even after you're out of the program, reach back into the program. Set the example, set the standard, and show these younger kids, because a lot of them don't have what my children have, or Trey's kids are going to have, or your children are going to have. They don't have somebody showing them the path that, like Rachel said, you don't have to act this way. You don't have to wear the mask. You don't have to repeat that chain of behavior that's around your neck.
To Matt's point, I just want to say this and let Kit close it out. I'm actually writing a book right now. And one of the things we talk about in the book is oftentimes, and y'all will probably agree with me, people don't need you to say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to da-da-da. People need to see the way. People need to see you doing it. People need to see you walk the walk, right? And so the book is about these stories that have shaped my life, like made me who I am, made the movement stories that people have never heard. And they're stories of my hope, my healing, my heartbreak, because I can sit there and go, you need to do this. You need to be a king or queen. But if I tell you a story, like Kit just told us a story of how she was a strong queen and went and got help, doesn't that inspire you more than if Kit got on here tonight and went, you need to do this. You need to go to therapy. You need to be better. Would any of us have really taken anything from that if she took that approach? No, but we followed her because she did it. Kit, you have any more thoughts, babe?
Thank you guys. I'm so happy that it resonated with you guys. It was a long time coming, but I'm happy that I finally chose to get help, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So yeah, let's celebrate. Let's get it. That's all I have. Thank you guys.
Well, Trey did send me a great message, and he said we should add her to our army of speakers. So if you ever want to come speak for I'm Changing the Narrative, we'd love to send you out and have you speak. So we can talk about that.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful message. So, okay. So I just want to provide a little business tip, and then Trey's going to provide a health tip, and then we're going to, we have a finance tip. Or if you are new to this call, Jeremy Newsom is a multimillionaire, and he has made that from the stock market. He has totally free. It's on his website, Real Life Trading. I've been taking the courses. I'm through like chapter 3, chapter 4. And I've taken just a, little bit of extra money I had, and I invest, and I look and I invest, and I haven't got to the point where I'm like trading and doing all those things. So he recorded us a quick 3-minute video, but I want to start really quickly with a business tip. So how many of us have ever gotten an email, including me, where you got turned down for something and you either never responded, or you never responded? And have you ever done that? Let me ask you that. Has anybody done that? You've been turned down, or you took a non-response as a no? That happened to anybody? Took a non-response as a no? Okay. So 2 things on this. And I used to teach this. I used to mentor young sportscasters like Kit for a long time whenever I was a sportscaster. And what I taught people was this, and this goes for anybody in any industry. If you go and you try to, we can use Matt as an example. Matt's a salesperson. They choose to go with another company, another salesperson. Matt can say, you know what? They didn't want me. Screw it. I'm out of here. Yeah, whatever. Or Matt can send an email and say, hey, you know what? I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to present to you. And if anything ever changes, please do let me know. And oh, by the way, can you tell me, is there anything that I can improve upon? Y'all, listen to me. When I was out job searching in broadcasting in all those years, and I didn't get a job or I got passed over, I always took the time to email the person back and say, thank you so much for the opportunity. I so appreciate it. If it doesn't ever work out, please keep me in mind. Hey, by the way, could I keep sending you my reel? And would you look at it? And oh, by the way, would you mind sharing with me? I know it might be a little awkward, but why you didn't hire me? Because I want to get better. And so I heard stories of people that literally didn't get the job and sent an email like that. And then the first person they hired got fired. And then the person called them. They were the second in line, right? Because they sent that email. I'm just saying to y'all, sometimes not getting the job, not getting the opportunity, not getting the camp spot, not getting the grad school spot, whatever it is, we think it's the end. It might be just the beginning. I even go so far as to say, hey, if they said, I really liked you, we just, we went with this person. Hey, do you know anybody else you might recommend me to? If I developed a relationship, who else, is there anybody else that you could forward on my reel to? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, y'all, the people, anybody on here who's dealt with me either in text or email, sometimes you have to ping me 2 or 3 times. Respectfully relentless. # respectfully relentless. Please don't take somebody's not answer as a personal thing. I used to do that all the time. They don't like me. I guess they don't want me at that party. Something's wrong with me. Like, it was my own junk. And what I recognize is, even more so, y'all, the world's trying to get back to normal. People are going back to work. People are planning vacations. So my other business tip is, again, I don't ask you to blow them up every single day, but what I'm asking you is, if you haven't heard back, maybe this is my favorite one. I start with, hey, just staying on your radar. Or I say, just want to circle back. That's it. Hope you're well. Just want to circle back with you, or hope you're well. Just want to stay on your radar. Look forward to hearing from you. So don't take a non-answer as a no, and don't take a no as a no, because you never know what can come out of it. And you never know what business associate or networking, like Trey talked about, is going to come out of that person who didn't get the job. I'm telling y'all, I've had some of my best friends in life, in business, come out of people that originally turned me down. I'm telling you. So that's my business tip. I hope that helped people, and if it did, give me a thumbs up. Yay. All right, Trey, take it away with our help tip.
Hey guys, I'm trying to find a thumbs up. All right, there we go. Hey, there we go. No, Kit crushed it. I was like, yo, Rachel, we got to get Kit. Anyways, Rachel, no, that definitely helped. And real quick, fam, just to let everybody know a little bit of background about me. So I originally played at East Carolina University, graduated 2017. I played football. I lettered there for 3 years. So had a great time at ECU. I graduated. I went to sales, just like Matt said, right? Performance-based. And it's kind of like the first way that people can get in. My network sounded cool. I feel like I can sell some stuff to my friends. But after that, I saw corporate America wasn't fulfilling. So I was like, peace out, started my own business. I'm actually in my gym now. And I got into weight loss and helping people get healthy. So I'm going to share a TikTok real quick with y'all. Crazy. We've been viral for the last 2 months on TikTok. Rachel, we just hit 10K. Hey, feel like once you get at 10, it's like, all right, you cool. But anyways, let me share my screen with y'all real quick. Okay. So let's make sure that y'all can hear the sound. Okay. When I play my video, if everybody could just give me a thumbs up that the sound is good, then that'll help.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, should be clicking on now. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you how to make a healthy meal prep. First thing you do is choose 3 vegetables. I got my green beans. I'm gonna chop the ends off, throw them in some olive oil. My second veggie is broccoli. Super easy to make. Chop it up, and then throw. Okay, Rach, you know my Zoom has been kicking me in the butt for. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you how to make a healthy meal prep. First thing you do is choose 3 vegetables. I got my green beans. I'm gonna chop the ends off, throw them in some olive oil. My second veggie is broccoli. Super easy to make. Chop it up, and then throw it right into the pan. My third veggie, Brussels sprouts. Cut them in half, throw them in the pan. Now my veggies are done. Now I want to go to my protein. I got hamburger, I got barbecue chicken, I got chicken legs, and then I'm also going to make like a chicken leg barbecue. So those are my proteins. Keep the carbs simple. Rice, potatoes, throw them in the microwave. And that's pretty much it. There you go. Healthy meal prep. Yes, sir. We'll watch it again, guys. All right, guys. I'm going to show you how to make a healthy meal prep. First thing you do is choose 3 vegetables. I got my green beans. I'm going to chop the ends off, throw them in some olive oil. My second veggie is broccoli. Super easy to make. Chop it up, and then throw it right into the pan. My third veggie, Brussels sprouts. Cut them in half, throw them in the pan. Now my veggies are done. Now I want to go to my protein. I got hamburger, I got barbecue chicken, I got chicken legs, and then I'm also going to make like a chicken leg barbecue. So those are my proteins. Keep the carbs simple. Rice, potatoes, throw them in the microwave. And that's pretty much it. There you go. Healthy meal prep. All right, guys. So, hey, real quick. TikTok, I feel like maybe that'll help. I don't know. Y'all can tell me. I found quick health tip of the week for everybody, athletes, non-athletes. If you prepare your meals before you actually eat them, you are going to increase your success chances of following whatever you're trying to accomplish by 1,000%. Now, mathematically, I don't know, I'm not a math guy, but 1,000% sounds good. So through the week, what I do, like if I start my week on a Monday and I have at least 5 to 10 meals prepared and in the refrigerator, I'm going to have a successful week. Like success to me is like, I'm just trying to make sure I get swole, cut up. That's what I'm trying to do. But that's the only way I can do it. If I don't have meal prep on Monday and then going on to Tuesday, no meal prep, I've had Chick-fil-A at least twice. Like easy, like not even joking. Like Brady, you already know, like I would order a pizza quick. So that's the business tip. I said that's the health tip of this week. Meal prep Sunday, Monday. So that way you can lead off into a good week. And follow me on TikTok if you need any meal prep help. Just click all my videos, just watch it, and I can help. So I'll put my TikTok in the chat box, Rachel.
Do you have any tips for us? We all love to go viral for different things. Do you have any tips for us on how you went viral?
Oh my goodness, yes. So I'm a very visionary type person. Before I post a video, my wife hates it. I'm married to y'all, 26 years old, married, crazy, love it. I say, man, this thing about to go crazy. It's about to go viral, but watch this. I've been saying that since last year, June 2020, when my videos weren't going viral. Because I just knew the content I was posting was going to help somebody. If you posting something that is genuinely going to help a human being, just imagine if that same video was shown to the entire world, how many people would actually resonate with it. So I was like, the more I share, the more I help, the more TikTok will show like my videos to the world, more people resonate, and then boom, it just starts happening. Like I got 2 videos that hit like almost 500,000, and my business, we've had over 1,000 body transformations in the last year because of these TikTok videos. Like every day somebody signs up for my programs. Like it's crazy. It's like because of these videos. So, but anyways, share content that is relevant to people that you want to help. And then what's passionate to you. That's pretty much it.
And one more for everybody, because I know we're all content creators here in some way, shape, or form. Emma, who had to go get on a plane, taught me this. on Reels on Instagram. Go and find out your viewers, their peak time, that like on your insights. Go find out when your viewers are on the most, and then you want to post right before they're on. So my viewers are on like 9 to 12, 9 to 11 are my highest like views. So they say I want to post my reels like around 8:30 before they get on. I don't want to just, there's a whole difference of when you post, particularly on Instagram. You can't just, like, one of my reels I thought was better than another one, got 2,000 views, and one got 6,000 views, and it was the time that I posted it. So look into that. Just another little tip there. I'm 1,000% with Trey on posting on what you love. Also using hashtag. Y'all use the hashtag, and then I'm gonna let y'all see Jeremy real quick. Trey, can you give me access to let me screen share?
Yes.
Thank you, friend. Okay. All right, here is Jeremy. Can y'all see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
PALS team, this is Jeremy Alexander Newsome, and I apologize that I'm not able to be at this exact event live, but I am fully aware of how important and impactful each meeting is. So I want to send you all a message. This message is, of course, about money, which is one of my favorite topics to discuss. And money is an energy. And Albert Einstein has been often quoted to say that everything is an energy, and that everything either is controlling or attracting or being used by an energy. Therefore, if you want to become a more wealthy, richer version of yourself, what we have to do is begin to attract, to think about, to draw in, to control that energy of money. Meaning you have to begin to think about money more. You have to be open and talk about money. You have to discuss it. You have to be really introspective, which means to think internally about how you can use the money that you have now, how you can grow it, what you can do, how you approach it, why, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to do with it, what you're really going to spend your money on. But more importantly, how much you need, how much you deserve, how much your time is worth. Here, let me give you a formula that almost no one in the entire world ever uses. It's called the money time formula. How much is your time actually worth? Because once you can figure out that, you can use that to understand what jobs, skills, goals, subjects, teaching, presentations, what you should be doing, sales, what you need to do with your money and your time. So for last year, which I know last year was your weird year, but 2020, take your total income, gross, what money you made from everything, anything, all of it. Okay, what was that number? So go ahead and write that down for me. Now divide that number by 365, which is obviously 365 days a year. And then take that number and divide it by 24. Okay, so for a lot of you, this will be, for just a lot of people in general, many people all over the world, you're probably going to have a mid-figure double-digit number, like somewhere between 8 and 16, probably. And if that's the case, perfect. What that means is you have a lot of room to grow, which is phenomenal. And secondly, it also means that as of right now, anytime you do anything, right, you better be charging more than that number per hour. So if you do anything in your life, I better charge more than that. And secondly, if you can spend more time to do that activity, but you can use the money to actually buy that activity back. Okay, so an example would be Ubering, right? If you can Uber, you no longer have to drive, and that Uber costs you $30, all right? And your time is worth more than $30 an hour. Then it's absolutely worth it for you to hire an Uber driver, so you can get that hour back, so that you can make a phone call, make a sales presentation, read a book, take a nap, whatever. Pour into your world, pour into your life. Money and time blend together so well. They're both energies, and they're both infinite energies. They are energies that need to be attracted by thinking about and openly talking about and discussing as often and frequently as you can. You are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That is how much you're worth. That's how much your time is worth. That's what you believe in, and that's what you think about. So also go ahead and do this example for me. Write down who are those 5 people you spend the most time with, and write down how much you think they make a year. And honestly, really good friends talk about money openly. They should, right? It's not a curse. It's not a negative thing to know how much someone makes. It's not a label. It's just a number. Don't let the numbers define you. Just let them amplify you. Let them excite you. They don't define you. So if you made $3 million last year, or $300,000 last year, or $30,000 last year, or $300 last year, you're still an amazing person. You're incredible. You can bring a phenomenal impact into this world. So go ahead and write down those 5 friends. Write down how much they make. Average it out. And you'll find out that you're pretty close to that number. And if you're the highest of all of your friend group, get another friend group. If you're the lowest of your friend group, like me, you're doing great. So my friends, if you have any questions about any of those formulas, message me directly. You can message me on Twitter @DoSomeNuggets, obviously on Instagram, or of course, I'm sure you're in the PALS WhatsApp or Discord. Message me there. I'm thrilled to help you any way I can. You guys absolutely rock. I love you.
All right, y'all. This guy, like, mind blowing. He gives us his time every month. And you might say, well, I'm not making money yet. You're going to. Kit's about to. She just graduated, right? Siriana's about to. She just graduated. Celeste is about to. She just graduated. You might not be right now, but you're going to be. I wish I would have known that when I was younger. Now I go back and teach people. They're like, I remember my cousin was a private chef, and she told me the amount of money that she was getting paid to go for a weekend and cook. And I said, how many hours do you think you worked? And she did it. And she subtracted and divided. Y'all, it ended up as a professional chef. What she charged, she was literally making $10 an hour. She way undervalued herself, right? You should say, just like he said, how many hours is this going to take me? Then you give it, a couple of extra buffer. If you're editing like an Emma or Helen, how many hours is it going to take me to edit a project? And then I'm going to add a couple hours onto it. And then take those hours and work that figure with the price that you have quoted and figure out what that comes out. You're worth it. You're worth it. A lot of people say, take it, double it, and add tax. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I hope you learned something from him. He's amazing. Go to reallifetrading.com, reallifetrading.com. You're never too young to learn about the stock market. And you don't even say limiting crap like, I don't have no money, or I don't have enough money. You got $5, you got $1, you can get into the stock market. You can get into the stock market right now with any amount of money, reallifetrading.com. All right, Lindsay, bring us home. She is our mindfulness coach. She is going to give us some tools and tips. Y'all, please take notes to be able to rock our world on a daily basis.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. So I want to be quick, but with my clients for my sessions, I'm really focusing on, I teach like 7 concepts. So there's breath. These will probably resonate with all of you. There's our breath work, empowerment, emotional intelligence, subconscious mind, meditation, timeline, which is a little bit different, but we can get into that another time, and gratitude. So going off even what Kit was saying today, Kit, I think you're so awesome for going and talking to someone. But like I said in the chat also, just for bringing that up on this call, because like I was talking even with Rachel last week, and it's all about breaking the stigma. So you're helping, and everyone on this call is helping. And that is 100% my why. So thank you. And you're amazing. But the one concept I want to go over and just teach with you guys today is so simple. It's breath. And when you think about breath, I want you guys to think about, I always say to my clients, the first thing is find your breath. So take a minute right now and find your breath. And I tell people your breath sits in many different places. If you're sad, angry, hurt, whatever it is, happy, excited, your breath sits at different places. So you got to allow your body and your mind to find your breath. So find your breath and just simply breathe. And I tell my clients, I start with the 6-2-6. So it's you inhale for 6 seconds, you hold that breath for 2 seconds, and you exhale for 6 seconds. And it is absolutely incredible what this does for your body and for your mind and for your life. Because when you can find your breath and focus on breathing, you are your best self in that moment, in that time, and things become clear. If you do that 3 times, it's awesome. And if you think about it, right, if you're, in the moment and you're like feeling anxious, you're either thinking about something that had just happened in the past, or you're thinking about something that's going to happen in the future. So when you're doing that, you're not in your present moment. And in your present moment, everything is okay. And I have had 100% feedback that finding your breath and simply breathing can create magic. And so that would be my tip for tonight. I go through its breath, empowerment. I want you guys to ask yourself and think about this tonight. What is empowerment to you? And then it's exactly what Kit said. Kit, again, you hit on this, but it's feeling, allowing yourself to feel things. That's like one of the most important parts of the process, is just feeling things. And then there's learning. To me, that's one of the most awesome. I love to learn. I love to teach lessons. I am someone who can learn from other people. So I love to learn people's story and learn from them, really learn, really learn our lessons, learn other people's lessons, listen and learn. And then one of the hardest parts is to let go, but you got to let it go. Once you've learned, if you've really learned something, it's easy to let things go. It can be easy. So that's my tip. Breathe, empower yourself, feel things, learn, and let go. But I would suggest you guys start with that 626 breathing. It's really simple. I tell my clients do this at least 3 times. It will bring you back to your present moment where everything is okay and you're your best self. Like Trey said, like, we're all going to make it. Like, we're all going to get there. So you just have to slow down and enjoy the moment, enjoy the process. And also, guys, I am here. I'm available to everyone on these calls. I love you guys so much. I love this community. I'm so grateful for real to be part of all of this. So you guys can reach out to me anytime. I'll put my number again out there. My business is called Mental Skills Zone, but I'm here for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. You're amazing. And thank you for just, pouring into us like that. I think it's so, y'all, I often forget to breathe deeply in a day. And sometimes I'm like, I find myself clenched and I'm like, I'm all tensed up and I'm like, but I ain't even breathing. I've been breathing like this.
And that's why it's finding your breath. Finding your breath has to be the first step, because we lose our breath. Sometimes your breath is lost all day. And when you take time to find your breath, then you can fall into the 626. It's awesome.
Great.
I do have a breath work. I have a breath work worksheet I can post up somewhere. So I got you guys.
We will share it with everybody. Braden said, can I get some breathing lessons for running? B, I ain't no runner either. Trey said, more cardio, bro. Fat guys don't run. Y'all are making me laugh. This is like the best way to end this call. So we do have Discord. We have Lindsay. We have Trey available, myself, Matt as a mentor, Britt as a mentor. We have, like I said, people that are connecting as friends here, outside of here, that are just texting and building friendships. So do not, hesitate to hit me up, to hit anybody else up here, and keep spreading this good word. Emma and Helen will work on editing this episode and we'll have it out in a week or two. Just as a little side, little note before we jump off tonight, we changed it. It's now always the 3rd Thursday of the month. 3rd Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 3rd Thursday. We were doing the 15th, but what was happening was falling on Saturdays and Sundays, and I ain't trying to get into y'all's, competing time and weekends. If it's a weekend for you, I never got weekends because I was a sportscaster and now I work in sports. Oh, and by the way, let me just say the whole message I just gave y'all about being respectfully relentless. So I'm not going to say his name, but there's a D1 coach that, okay, so let me back up and say this really quickly. And I promise I won't keep y'all on. But there is a difference for me with I'm changing the narrative. There's some coaches that call and they're like, come back. And then there's some that you go in once and you never hear from them again. ever. And you have to wonder, and it's hard, you have to wonder if they just want you there to check the box. Okay. You have to wonder that. And so when players are asking for me to come back, like Kit, like Braden, at schools across the country, that's what matters the most to me, because for me, it's all about relationship. The talk is just the talk. The second talk is just the talk. It's about relationships. I care about you. So there's a Power 5 coach that I probably texted 10 times over the last year with no response. And so this morning, I went for it and I said, hey, I just want to make sure I haven't offended you in any way. Please let me know if I have. And I said, your players are asking for me to come back and I would love to serve you in any way I can. And while we were on this call and while Trey was talking, he said, hey, I was just thinking about you. Can you talk in the morning? And I was like, yes. So I'm just telling you, a lot of people would have given up the 8th time, like I was borderline. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was borderline stalking this person. I mean, it was borderline. Like if I didn't get an answer back to this, I was going to delete his number because I was starting to embarrass myself. But that's how much I care, y'all. And when you find what you care about, you will put yourself out there and make yourself look stupid a little bit. And so I don't think it's stupid, really, maybe silly, and so you got to get it. You got to switch yourself into that mindset that if it matters enough to you, you're willing to be silly. You're willing to look stupid. You're willing to be a contrarian. You're willing to be, Britt knows this, to be different, man. You're willing for people to laugh at you. I'm willing, man. I don't care because we're saving and changing lives. I don't care what you think about me if you think poorly of me, because I know this works. We're all sitting on this call for a reason. So anyway, I'm done.
Oh, that's good, Rachel. Maybe I could close it out. Is that cool?
Yes, please.
Hey, fam, let me tell y'all something. This is crazy because y'all feel that energy in the chat box going like really low. Feel that. If you feel the energy, put the fire right now. Every month, I'm like, all right, the call about to come up, and I'm like trying to find ways to make it happen. And then I do, and I'm so glad that I did. Kind of like after that workout, you got a conditioning test. You're like, all right, I had a conditioning test. Dang, this is gonna suck. It's like, oh, dang, this is amazing. Not saying the call's gonna suck. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, so remember everybody that's in the Discord. I told Rachel, I was like, look, like bringing these players and people, not even just players, all across the country together. Like that's what we planning for, y'all. Like just be able to be in the same room and just be able to dap up, like dap Braden up, high five Kit, Pound, Lindsay, give Matt a big bear hug. Like that's what we about to do. So just be on the lookout. We're gonna keep growing this thing out. So keep inviting, keep sharing, especially the I'm changing the narrative post. Just share on your story. Somebody get help from it because you saw the post on somebody else's story or Rachel's story, whoever, and then that's how you got on. So I always share when I see him posted up. So I turn on the post notifications. But other than that, Rachel, like I'm excited to be a part. And any way I can help y'all, like please reach out. Especially about like networking, like business. I would love to like share with you, like you want to have your own business or talk about things like that, especially in the fitness realm. A lot of athletes have that background. And I know a lot of us go that route. So I could definitely help with that as well.
Y'all, and I just want to say, I lied. I said one more thing. I lied. Trey is awesome. And say a prayer for Trey. If you don't pray, well wishes, good juju, whatever it is. We're about to release Trey to the world. He's going to be speaking to the state of Houston. And Braden knows the state of Houston, the state of Texas. Braden knows this person. She happens to be an angel. And I am speaking to English as a second language in adult education. And I know that Trey is going to be able to fire these amazing individuals up. So we're about to let him loose, and he's going to be speaking all over the country, and we're going to be pushing him as well. And so if you'll just keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he takes that, he's already a speaker, but he takes that real next step. That would be awesome. And I just love y'all, and I'm so thankful for you. Britt's got his shirt on, his King shirt on. I see you over there. It's got all the words in it. I love it, y'all. And we will, I'll send out the Discord link to everybody as well, so we can make sure we're on that too. And, oh, this is the last thing I would say. It costs nothing for you to share this. When the YouTube comes out, Kid and I were like, we were like on each other's timeline, like nobody's business. Trey was sharing it. Mitch was sharing it. Like, It costs nothing. B was sharing, like, please share when these meetings are coming up, because you don't know who is on your timeline, who's sad, who's isolated, who's lonely, who needs a business tip, who needs just a friend, who a coach that feels, you know, coach has been wanting to mentor somebody. Like, you don't know, man. So I'm just asking you, the week before the third Thursday in June, share the heck out of it. You know, like, anytime you see it, post it on your story, post it on. And the other thing is, a tweet, y'all, lasts for 15 seconds. The life of a tweet is 15 seconds, meaning they're come and gone, you know, like it's just boom. It's on the cycle. So, y'all are doing great, but just continue to share it, because there are people in your network that need to hear what we're saying on this Zoom call. In 1 hour, we got business, fitness, money, mental, inspiration. I mean, like, this is sick. Where else can you go in 1 hour by athletes for athletes and get all that? You can't. So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for being here tonight. And we will see you. We'll talk to you before then, but we'll see you in a month.